And you won 2 in a row. Next thing to do is go 3-0. I'm just gonna keep doing what I do. Take it one day at a time. Lead these dudes to one game at a time.
Are they in the playoffs? You were a kid in the Cowboys game?
Yeah. Sweet.
Are they like in the? Are they in the? Is he in the Texas game?
Huh? It's Texas.
Kids these days, always watching TV, tied by society's chains of digital entertainment, not realizing that there's so much more to life.
Wow, it's so nice outside. The wind, the sun.
Plato's allegory of the cave can be used to illustrate the major philosophical questions of life. The prisoners in the cave had never experienced anything but the shadows, so they assumed that the shadows were their whole reality. When the liberated prisoner spoke of another level of reality full of colors and depth, they considered him a fool, for his account went against the society's granted belief system. This part of the allegory illustrates the importance of questioning our basic assumptions. It also cautions us to be wary of our commonplace knowledge and reminds us that the majority can be wrong. The great figures in history, like Plato and Socrates, often found themselves in conflict with basic assumptions of their culture. Like the prisoners, we often accept everything we see or hear. But when we try to be like the lone prisoner of games, who learned to question the assumptions of his contemporaries, is really when we start to live. What do you think are some of society's chains?
Being tied down to our phones and our computers and getting on social media and not being able to explore the outside world like we normally do. I mean, we still do, but we always have our phones with us.
I think one of society's chains are the addiction to video games. Recently, a lot of the younger kids and teenagers are playing video games more often and staying inside and not going outside like on beautiful days like today. So I think they have that virtual world in their head that they just cannot let go.
What do you think keeps people away from exploring the world and enjoying a beautiful day like today?
Well, I think going back to the social media, it's being able to experience the world through social media. Like, you always can just go on and look at pictures of nature, and you can read about the current events and what's going on in the world and that kind of thing. So,
what is one way in which society keeps you tied up in a chain?
One way that society keeps me tied up in a chain is by social media. I'm very addicted to Pinterest and Instagram and Facebook, and it has come to the point that I have to check it right before I go to bed and every time I wake up. And even though I checked it like 5 minutes before, like I keep checking it, and that's really not good. I'm even checking my school email often because I used to get like so many emails, and now I don't, and it's kind of disappointing when you look again and there's nothing new. So that is probably not a good thing, and it's just something I have to like work on to let go and just look at it every once in a while and not be like dependent of seeing what everybody else is doing. Because one thing, if it's something really exciting, it kind of makes you feel bad about yourself because you're like lame or you're like uncool in a way, you know? But another way, people use it to brag about their things, and that's not good also. So, yeah, that's it.
Society keeps me tied up in a chain through social media. I'm always on Pinterest and Tumblr and Facebook. I have so many followers on Pinterest, it's not even funny.
Are you willing to release those chains for improving your perspective of reality?
Yes, I am ready to release those chains such as social media, Facebook, Pinterest, to kind of tone it down a bit with the usage of it so that I can enjoy like the daily life and not just being hooked on to what everybody else is doing, but actually enjoying what I'm doing to have a brighter and better future.
What do you think can be done to help younger generations release the chains of society?
Okay, so I think what we should do to help break the chains is by motivating the students and children to go outside. I feel like nowadays there's not that much initiation to get the students or kids to play outside on a beautiful day, or kind of just encourage them to go outside. It's very, they mention it a lot, but they don't really do anything for it. So like maybe setting a specific time to go outside for an hour or two, or walk the dog, or kick your kid out of the house or something, just to let them not be inside all the time, because that's unhealthy for them, and it just prevents them to experience like nature one-on-one. So that's what I think.
With that said, go out there and explore the world. Leave the video games, your TV, leave all of that behind. Because as Socrates would say, the unexamined life is not worth living. Thank you. Always watching TV, not by society. Espérate. Wait, hold on. No, we're not ready.
It's 3, isn't it? 5,000. Yeah, it's like kicking.
Okay, yeah, whatever. When does it get to the bloody part? Plato's allegory of the cave can be used to illustrate the major philosophical questions of life. When the prisoners... That was perfect! Oh.
Get it?
Laugh. There you go. That's okay though. It works.